my life was saved by the SWAT team, and I'm not going to sit there and, you know, be negative about police officers or their job, or, you know, that they're not trying to help people or anything. But I'm saying that, you know, if you're not willing to help yourself, who's going to help you on top of that? You know, if you're not going to help yourself, no one's going to help you.
Do you want to see more police presence and start seeing these people be held accountable?
Yeah, I do. And I think that even as a drug addict myself, and not necessarily too much of an alcoholic or anything, but it's that even myself, I feel like, you know, it's not that I want to get away with anything any more than anybody else does or anything, but I think that the people that want to change need people to slow their roll.
Rapping at the Target?
No, stealing. Boosting, yeah.
Oh, you guys were stealing from the Target.
Every day.
Now, you said that you guys were stealing from the Target.
No, not you guys. I was.
You were, okay, so you,
A lot of people.
right, tell us about that.
Nobody I know. Well, shoot. They couldn't stop us.
It's time to restore public safety and put an end to the radical anti-police policies that have destroyed American cities. Seattle, a once beautiful city, has fallen to criminal lawlessness. Citizens are being held hostage to homicides, violent assaults, strong arm robberies, and open-air drug use, which someone can experience just taking a simple stroll down the street. Katie Daviscourt reporting for Rebel News, and I am here on 3rd Avenue, a hot zone for crime in the city. I spoke with people living on the streets who told me that they take full advantage of the police reform laws that allow them to commit crimes with impunity. They steal, use drugs, deal drugs, and commit violent crimes, not just because they want to, but because they know that they can get away with it. Go to restorepublicsafety.com, where I will not just be traveling through Seattle, but we'll be exposing the public safety crisis across the country and working to get victims the justice that they deserve. The city and state claim that their policies help the vulnerable, but that's not what an individual fighting to get clean from a drug addiction just told me. Does the city help you, or do they enable?
I wouldn't say the city doesn't help you, but I think that they allow too many people to use out in public, and that it's counterproductive to the people that are trying to do the right thing for their children and their families and their friends.
Now, you talked about being raped. You talked about being a victim of a crime. Are these repeat offenders that are not being held accountable by judges and prosecutors who come back on the streets and commit crimes with impunity because of our laws?
I think that they are. I think that they're repeat offenders, and that if they can get away with it once, they'll do it again. And, you know, our real heroes and stuff like that. You know, my life was saved by the SWAT team, and I'm not going to sit there and, you know, be negative about police officers or their job, or, you know, that they're not trying to help people or anything. But I'm saying that, you know, if you're not willing to help yourself, who's going to help you on top of that? You know, if you're not going to help yourself, no one's going to help you.
So police reform laws have gone into effect statewide, including here in Seattle, and police officers can no longer pursue suspects unless they have probable cause, which means that people can go into stores, steal with impunity. They're allowed to do illegal drugs on the streets, open air drug use. Prosecutors don't prosecute those crimes anymore, so police officers don't take the time to even arrest individuals like that. Is that adding harm to people like you who have an addiction and want to get better?
I think at times it does, not every day, but at times like maybe Fridays and Saturdays, and then, you know, maybe Thursdays as well when they get paid or whatever, and it's closer to the weekend or something like that, then yes, I do.
Do you want to see more police presence and start seeing these people be held accountable?
Yeah, I do.
What at the Target?
You have to know, tell you last year, oh my God, we were killing it. Well, I was, you know.
Rapping at the Target?
No, stealing. Boosting, yeah.
Oh, you guys were stealing from the Target?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, shoot.
You know what we want to know? What is life like on the streets?
Well, life on the streets, it's not in Seattle, pimp. Seattle, they help you, man. I can't put no cut in it. If you're homeless out here, you're a raper or you are just a creep, and Seattle helps you, nigga. It's too many. It's like any other place in the 50 states or something, I'd be like, homeless is going to be hard or something. But not here, cuz.
It's easy here in Seattle. And why is that?
Because there's too many resources. They got to stay at a homeless shelter or something for a second. They get you to go to a hotel or something and get a caseworker. And I mean, you're rocking fast. Food stamps, say you're homeless, give you some food stamps. And I'm just saying, man, it's not hard.
Now, you said that you guys were stealing from the Target.
No, not you guys. I was.
You were, okay, so
We
you,
had a lot of people.
right, tell us about that.
Nobody I know. Well, shoot. They couldn't stop us. I knew what it's no technology, so I got a bag. I'm doing them crazy every day. I'm making runs. Yeah. That's how homeless wasn't into me. I stayed fitted every day. I was dipped. Shit.
So you were able to steal from the Target, commit the crime with impunity because of our police laws. They can't pursue suspects for shoplifting. Are you aware of those crimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and did that embolden you to keep going?
Clearly. Put a mask on. Put a hat on. You know how many hats and shit I got? I got a mask on. You'll see the high top. I mean,
Right. And then you would...
Miss Walgreens right here. I'll go in there right now. Watch.
And then you would
Proceed.
proceed to sell the stolen goods on the streets right outside the store.
Or keep that shit. But yeah, right there on the block. Set up shop. Yeah, fast. Quick.
And were you guys ever held accountable?
Fuck no. What? They're not giving a figgity fuck. There's hella attention. This is heavy. They cleaned it up because I went to I kind of robbed too after my shit come up. So, yeah.
So what landed you on the streets?
Well, this last time, I relapsed. And church bought me a ticket up here. I've been trying to get off the drugs and stuff, but it's kind of hard, because there's nothing to do, But anyway,
So what kind of criminal activity happens on the streets on a regular basis?
I don't know what the next motherfucker do. I know what I do. I know it's dope being sold, but I ain't doing myself, I steal shit. My first charge was a commercial burger I sold a Glock 9 out of a gas station. Motherfucker put a gun to my head, told me to go do this. Hold on, I went and did this shit, but they lied and said you could have the motherfucking Glock, on the hood and shit.
So what do you think about the increase in shootings here?
Nigga, keep them coming. F them and feed them fish. Who's to say what the fuck they're doing? Fuck them motherfuckers. For real.
Between the Seattle Police Department being defunded by more than $50 million, causing officers to leave the department in droves, to activists, prosecutors, and judges releasing repeat offenders back out onto the streets, the city is no longer safe. HB 1054 prohibits police from engaging in most vehicular pursuits unless they have established probable cause for a violent crime or sex crime. This means that if a police officer tries to make a traffic stop for a nonviolent crime, but the driver doesn't want to pull over, the police officer will have to let the suspect flee, since they are no longer legally allowed to pursue after vehicles without establishing probable cause. This has caused criminals to feel emboldened, and police evasions are now at an all-time high. Remember when the suspect of an alleged kidnapping called 911 during a high-speed chase to report that Seattle PD was pursuing him in a vehicle and said that they weren't legally allowed to chase after him because of the new laws?
Seattle PD legally chasing me over I don't know what.
Okay,
I was leaving my car and they're chasing me.
Okay, are you able to to pull over and talk with officers, find out what's going on?
No, it's an illegal pursuit and my license is suspended, and it's an illegal pursuit. It's Council 1054. They're not supposed to be able to chase.
Okay. Where are you right now, sir?
You can track me on GPS. I have no idea. Yeah, they can do it on the phone. It's illegal. They cannot chase. This is an illegal pursuit. This is an illegal pursuit under 1074.
Under HB 1054, law enforcement officers are no longer allowed to pursue suspects that have committed property crimes, which includes residential burglary, possession of a stolen vehicle, and theft. They can also no longer pursue certain domestic violence incidents, which includes DV, simple assault, violation of no contact or protection order, and stalking, according to the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. An example of the above changes the Sheriff's Office provided includes Dispatchers receive a 911 call from a person who reports hearing screaming and loud noises from an apartment next door. The caller reports that it sounds like the woman next door is being assaulted by her boyfriend, but is only able to provide a vague description of what the boyfriend looks like and does not know his name. As the first responding officer approached the apartment, he sees a man running through the parking lot wearing clothing that is similar to the description provided in the 911 call. Under the new law, officers must let the man walk away from the scene until they can interview the victim and or witnesses to determine with a high level of certainty that a crime has occurred and the person is a suspect in that crime. Police chiefs from across the state have warned against the police reform bills and made it clear that officers, quote, won't be coming and that they just simply won't respond. They have now formed an alliance to spread awareness about how the reformed police laws are impacting the community.
We had 5 total victims, 2 are deceased. While investigating that, officers responded to 12th and South Main, where we had a victim also show up later at the hospital. We've had resources from all throughout the city responding to this shooting scene. Tonight we've had 7 total victims, 3 deceased. This is what we've been talking about, the uptick in gun violence from 2020 into 2021. We've got to figure out a way to get the guns off the streets.
If you believe that it is time for victims to get justice, criminals to be held accountable, and for corrupt prosecutors, judges, and officials to start doing their jobs, go to restorepublicsafety.com, where I will not just be traveling through Seattle, but we'll be exposing the public safety crisis across the country and working to get victims the justice that they deserve. Katie Daviscourt for Rebel News.